morning, America. Welcome to Focus Daily TV. Here on Focus Daily TV, we speak about biblical prophecy and how it applies right here in this land, currently referred to as America, and how those currently referred to as African Americans, Afro Americans, blacks, Negroes, are actually the children of God whom the Bible speaks about. Now, how exactly did the children of God end up in the worst position in so-called America? Well, we failed to continue to follow the laws, the commandments, and the word of the Father, the Heavenly Father. Here on Focus Daily TV, we're going to bring all of this information to light in order so that we can thoroughly understand the conditions and the times, more importantly, that we find ourselves in. We're in that critical time known as Revelation. Today we're going to jump into the stock market crash, the Great Depression, how that led to income tax, which is totally against the laws of God. The laws of God state that the gold and silver is mine. The gold and silver belongs to the Heavenly Father and his children. Also, tithes are meant to be paid to the Heavenly Father and his children, not the other way around. We're not supposed to be paying them taxes. They're foreigners who invaded this land. All right, let's get straight to it. We're going to watch this video and see if we can extract vital information out of it. Let's go.
The tragedies of the past, yet valuable lessons are to be had by exploring their causes and effects. After all, in a world of ever-changing rules, products, and services, history is the one constant that can guide us through the ambiguity. So let's take a 5-minute history lesson on today's Plain Bagel. The year is 1918, and after 4 years of conflict, the First World War is finally over. America has emerged as one of the victors, and is about...
So it's the early 1900s, late 1800s, and things begin to change. Suddenly, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th Amendments are brought into play. Keep in mind that they have no authority to change the laws of this land. The laws of this land are written in that book that's called the Bible, the Word and laws and commandments of the Father. However, once again, in the late 1800s, a coup took place. The foreigners began to take over the system that was laid in place that allowed them to work in this land and to trade in this land. How dare they amend that?
About to enter a period of economic prosperity and cultural change known as the Roaring Twenties. Things start off pretty strongly as the post-war economy is seeing a boost. Troops are back from the war, delayed projects are starting up again, and hey, more women are entering the workforce, meaning that more people have a salary to spend, and companies are looking for a piece of the money pie. So in 1920, we see our first radio advertisement, and it seems to be working.
It seems like this is more based on media and entertainment, but it still has key points. They wanted a bigger piece of the pie. So how did they do that? They brought in a system of vital statistics, birth certificates, social security numbers, which are nothing more than social identification numbers, SIN, sin. They brought in the world of sin and began to bond men and bond women into a fiat system of currency, which is currently being backed by the souls of men, as spoken about in Revelations.
Recent inventions like the vacuum cleaner and the electric washing machine are becoming hot commodities. And hey,
look, when they first arrived over here, it was already, by they, I mean pilgrims, pirates, whatever and whatnot. It was already a complex civilization right here on this land. Technology was the highest in the world. They arrived here and they seen the riches, the technology, the infrastructure, and they immediately began to create a crafty council, we'll say it that way, to usurp our birthright. Let's go.
Since things are looking pretty good, the banks are giving out loans to everybody, meaning that even more people can buy the latest and greatest gadgets. Before you know it, everyone's getting a car too, Henry Ford's T-Model to be exact, and with it, life is becoming a lot easier. Now you can do the Charleston across town and be home for your evening smoke. All of this is making companies very rich, and the average American is making good money themselves. In fact, people are starting to look for things to do.
I just kind of like pick a video. I don't watch it before the show. I just break it down along with the viewer. Bear with me.
Do with their newfound wealth. Buy another laundry machine? Nah. A new car? Don't need it. Oh, wait, what about investing? Yeah, that's it. After all, why be rich when you can be more rich? So the stock market becomes a pretty popular practice, and with so many people buying, investors are finding it very easy to make money on stocks. Soon enough, everyone thinks they're 1920s Warren Buffett, and I mean everybody.
So this is key. Everybody began to invest within this system as history tells it, but suddenly, the truth is the system was sabotaged. How could we get people to register into this fiat system and pay us taxes, I might add? This is the questions that they contemplated. Okay, we have to create an emergency situation in order to reset this. And this is the same strategy they use over and over, whether it's coronavirus, the yellow fever, the stock market crash, assassinations. They keep on creating emergency systems because that's the only way their type of government can operate, under emergency powers. It's all written. Let's go.
Cooks, shoe shines, taxi drivers, you name it, everyone is trading like a Wall Street tycoon, pouring their life savings into whatever security is hot that day. In fact, there's so much money to be made, people are taking out loans to invest even more, and banks are happily collecting the interest. By the way, those same banks are looking to invest more money too, and soon enough they begin borrowing money from customer bank accounts to buy.
So here come the bankers, emptying the accounts, draining the system in order so that their sabotagery, if that's a word, can take hold.
Buy stocks. But since things are looking up, no one's noticing, and overall things are going pretty well in America, financially anyway, and as we experience flapper culture, prohibition, and the rise of jazz music, people are making good money on the markets. By 1929, America's total wealth has doubled, and investments are up 218% since 1922. In fact, stocks are rising so fast, companies are having a hard time keeping up and justifying their stock price. Wait, that's not good. And hold on, production actually seems to be slowing down. Henry's not making as many T-models, and people aren't buying as many things.
So here it goes. That was interesting. The way the media portrayed everything as happy and jolly, when in reality, things were rapidly collapsing. Once again, purposely being made to collapse. All the while, they're beginning this system of registration and classification that I speak about daily. In 1933 was the pinnacle of it all. So we're working our way to 1933.
It looks like companies may have overestimated their growth, and now wages are falling. And all that easy tax is dead? Well, people have taken out quite a bit, and interest rates are starting to rise. But wait a minute, the stock market is still up. That doesn't seem right. Even though the economy is looking worse for wear under the hood, investors are more or less ignoring these problems and buying and selling as if it...
So there you have it. In reality, the economy had tanked, had been sunk, I should say. A sunken battleship, I should say. But through media and their systems, they convinced the people that everything was happy and jolly and joyful. Similar to today.
If everything were exceptional. Sure, we see a few shakeups and close calls, but things are still largely positive, and people are still gambling on the markets. But over time, the voice of reason is getting louder, and investor uncertainty is increasing, which brings us to October 24th, 1929. Black Thursday, as it's called, the theorized start of the Great Depression. Investors have been royally spooked, with headlines reading,
"Prices of stocks crash in heavy liquidation."
And when markets open, they start to sell. And I mean sell. 12.9 million shares to be exact. A new record.
So those who were in the know in one of these frat society type things, they began to pull out the money that they had holding up the system for the final collapse. Similar to today, right before the big emergency event occurs, mega corporations begin withdrawing their funds. Y'all seen it.
And at opening bell, things fall 11%. People are selling so much that price tickers can't keep up with the volume, so people don't even know what their selling price is. And all of this selling is dragging the stock market down, erasing large chunks of America's wealth, and things are about to get worse. While markets recover later that day, come Black Tuesday, it's an outright panic. The Dow Jones falls 12%, and that record we set last Thursday, yeah, we just broke it again.
Okay, so here it goes.
The markets lose $14 billion in one day. Some shares are now worthless, people have lost their life savings, and Americans who
Exactly. This all occurs over and over again, right on up to this very day.
borrow to invest are absolutely crushed. And so, friends, here we are. The Great Depression, the worst economic downturn in the history of the industrialized world. The Dow Jones falls for another 3 years after this, losing 90% of its value from its high in 1929. Many lose their jobs.
Okay, here we come, approaching 1933.
As companies shut down, and it's not just investors that are hit. Remember that money the banks borrowed? Well, a bunch of it is lost in the markets too, and people are only getting back 10 cents for every dollar they had in their account.
Sorry.
Banks across the country shut down, and unemployment reaches its highest level in U.S. history, 24.9%. By this point, breadlines, soup kitchens, and homelessness are common sights. Whether you invested, borrowed money, or even just held money in a bank account, the Depression found a way to hurt you financially. Times would be tough throughout the 1930s, and fiscal intervention from Franklin D. Roosevelt would do little to boost activity. In fact, it wouldn't be until the rise of
So they began confiscating all the wealth, including the gold of the land. But the sole purpose was to bring in this system of bond men and bond women, like Deuteronomy speaks of. Okay, we're going to keep it short here at Focus Daily TV. Appreciate y'all showing up. Subscribe, like, support the channel. # Focus Daily TV. We out.